Hello guys, and welcome to the part 2 of Dota 2 Academy, specifically dedicated to teach you about the art of wording. In the first part we have covered how we should go about wording the Radiant side. Now we will take a look about how you should go about wording the Dire side, which is different, and many people don't know this when they start playing this game. But the map in Dota 2 isn't exactly symmetrical, so when you're playing a different side, there are small differences between the forests and the layout. The general rule still stays the same, but still differences are. So the word spots are just different between the the two sides. Sorry, I think if I would just puke my how you call them, lungs. That would become a very popular video on YouTube. I mean, ooh, watch, this guy just spilled out his lungs. Ah, the internet is so fun. Recently I even saw a movie where a shark has bitten off a leg from a guy. I mean, I wasn't even aware that you can see things like that on YouTube. But hey, the guys were just filming sharks. I mean, how can you end up with, if you're staying in a very shallow water full of sharks with no protection on you? And I'm not talking about condoms. The guys were just standing barefoot in a water full of sharks. Surprise, a shark bites one of their legs. So anyway, let's get back to Dota 2. Sorry for this retrospection. What I want to show you, like I said, is how to properly word when you are playing on the Dire side. And I have a little bit of a cheat sheet with me, I must admit. It took some research to find out what are the best spots, and we just want to save you the time and effort for that. We just want to compile that in a single list. So we will go to one of our lanes first. Let's teleport here. I have Boots of Travels, and I have cheated to get more gold and words, so please don't mind that. Now, one of the first words when you are playing, you usually let's start with the safe lane. That's the safest bet. That's the safest thing to place to start. So one of the greatest and my favorite place to put a word, and strangely not too many people know about this, is you want to cut down this tree and put a word a little bit to the right of it. Now, what this gives you is great vision. I mean, this doesn't exactly have this whole dual purpose words thingy, because if you want to have a really good word, it should serve two purposes at once. So it should give you vision over your forest, and it should give you a vision on the rune, or it should give you a vision on Roshan, or it should just have not just the purpose of giving you some vision. But this word is slightly different in a way that it gives you a lot of vision in one place. So you are probably, I can say that you're probably safe from all sorts of ganks that can happen in your jungle, because what you see is anyone trying to get out of the river. So if they are trying to stage a gank for you around here, you'll just be able to notice them. The same goes for this place. I mean, this little place between the trees is really nasty, and people do hide there. But then you are most likely to notice them anyway. If you have a quelling blade, you can cut down the trees to have additional vision. Sorry, let's see. You can cut down the trees to have additional vision, and that's the quelling blade. Recently, I think a month back, or even a bit more than that, has got a buff where you can cut down trees every 6 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, every 6 or 5 seconds. And earlier it wasn't that. So anyway, this word gives you great vision over your jungle. It doesn't give you vision over your river, but it's still quite useful. Another place where I saw people place word, but isn't a very good one, is here. Because they want to use the same trick as they have used over the Radiant side, where there's a great spot for a word here. But if you place a word over this place, you don't see a shit, really, guys, because what you see is a part of the river and a part of the jungle, but you don't get the vision on the rune, and this is by far one of your most important objectives. So let's go and kill our wards. Thank you very much. And move to the next one. So, you know, once you become more aggressive or you just want to have great rune vision, you can use one of these two spots. One of them, not exactly extremely popular, is up here. It's quite safe to place. It can be placed by any player. You just need to come over here, and I will show that to you. Keywords, because you know the spot from where you're placing your words is also important. So you don't even need to go to the river, which is the River of Sorrows, and I wasn't surprised at all when I saw it turn into blood at Halloween. So this word is okay. It can be placed easily, and it's just a great place to start. I mean, when you play, when you just find random games on the internet, the professional players use it a lot. But when you just find random games on the internet, people in most cases just go and place a word over here, which isn't that bad. But when you think about it, you're dire, and what this gives you. It doesn't give you a lot because there's a huge distance between these stairs and this high ground and your river entrance to your forest. So if you place a word down here, it shows you the rune. It gives you it gives you a lot of vision for the river, but it doesn't cover you from any ganks really. So when you're playing as dire, this is not that much useful. Absolutely. Unless you're playing very aggressively. Now, another good spot is probably, and this is not a very popular one, but this is very good if you have lost the tower. So if you have lost the tower, you can put a word here, because many of us are just used to the fact that towers gives us vision, and that's all great. But if you lose a tower, you somewhat need to replace that when you're still playing on a lane. If you want to abandon the lane and just go back to the next tower and stay behind, that's okay, you don't need a ward. But if you want to farm and play at least semi-aggressively or just passively, then you may want to replace the tower with a ward. And this ward is good because it gives you lane vision. You probably need to place it a little bit lower. It gives you lane vision, and it also gives you a little bit of vision for the forest, so you're not as easily surprised. Now, if the game has moved to a phase where you are playing more defensively, in the Dire Forest there isn't exactly a spot as great as in the Radiant Forest, where you can place a single word and you have a big ton of vision. But what you can do is still use these rocks. So these rocks are nice and not often appreciated, and they give you like the biggest vision chunk you can get playing as Dire when you have defensive vision. And if you're pushed back and if you need to play defensively, this is the best word you can possibly get, because you see a lot of places from where normally gangs are coming, this place especially, and then you see the biggest part of your lane. And if you have just lost this tower and you're relying back on defending up here, this ward is a must-have. You cannot really avoid having this one in your assortment. Now, the next great place, and I think these wards that I just showed you cover the safe lane in terms of playing the Dire. The question is, okay, I'm playing on the middle, so where should I place my wards when I'm playing on the middle, and I want to, have the middle secured? So one of the places is still here that I showed you. It gives you great vision on the rune. It gives you some vision on where the enemy can come from. But if you are ballsy and you want to risk it, you can always go, and in fact I always do that, I like to be ballsy. You can always go and place a ward up here. This is normally a radiant part, but notice what it gives you. My god, it gives you the vision for the rune. It gives you the vision for their jungle, so you can know when they are farming the ancients, and it also gives you vision on when, for example, a Pudge is trying to hook you. So if you don't want to hook up with Pudge too much, you just want to avoid being ganked, you place a ward over here, and it's awesome. My god, it's awesome. Another good place, and very often used when you're on the middle and you have lost your middle tower, you want to be avoided. You want to avoid being ganked from the top, and this ward over here is just the tool to do that. You have lost this tower, and probably if you're playing with your creep wave along here, you may be ganked in a second by a bunch of enraged enemies, and having a ward here will let you always see them trying to stage ganks, because even if they don't want to attack you from the high ground, this is in most cases the path they will be taking for regrouping and preparing a gank for you. So that's the word that you may want to use. Now, if you have lost this tower, then don't misappreciate the value of having a ward up here. And I'm serious, guys. This ward, if you have lost the tower and if you don't have the extra vision it gives you, it's easy to forget, but towers do give you a lot of vision, and if you lose a tower, then you may be playing blindfolded. Having this ward replace the tower is just great. You see a lot of things incoming. It doesn't give you the vision for the rune, but it still gives you enough vision to feel pretty safe against anything, any shenanigans that the opponents may be trying to throw at you. Now, another great place, and this comes especially in handy when you're trying to kill Roshan, is this place, really, because it gives you the vision on the rune. It gives you the vision over the river, it gives you some vision over here, so notice they can't even cross this way without being noticed by this ward, and it's enough. It's enough to feel safe, it's enough to go for Roshan. You have vision over here. Yes, they can always come from here, and sometimes they will try to surprise you from here, but still, this little ward gives you most of the protection you need. Of course, if you can manage, if you feel like it, and want to risk being noticed, you can put a ward here. Oh, come on. You can put a ward up here, but then I feel that this one is just slightly less optimal in terms of the vision that it gives you than this one, and a lot less risky, plus you don't get noticed by the enemy, so it's all that you want, really. Okay, the next one when you're playing as Dire is, let's kill the current ones, kill wards. The next one that you want to use is the one at the eye, because it gives you the vision for the rune. When you're playing as the Dire, you don't need vision for the woods here, because, well, you'll be the one who's ganking there, and if you really feel threatened at the mid game, you can place a ward somewhere around here, but it's not that common or usual to have the Dire team placing wards over this place. It still happens, maybe more often than one would think, but this is just a great place. It gives you vision over this rune, and that's what the middle player wants. It gives you vision over the part of the forest. So if these guys playing on the safe lane from the Radiant perspective are trying to go and gank the middle player of your team, you will see them coming, and that's just enough to have a counter gank prepared. Now, another nice word that I pretty much don't see at all when playing online is here. I mean, this word is just awesome. It's kind of the same as if placing a ward here for playing the Radiant, because it gives you a hell of a lot of vision on the Dire side. It covers this whole lane, it covers the approach from the stairs up here, it covers the place where the ancients spawn, and it also covers this approach. So if you have just lost your tower, probably you want to replace it by placing a ward over here, and it will just give you the best protection you can afford, and you just need to pay attention to what is coming through this way, because as you can notice, the only way, if you have lost this tower, for them to gank you is either to come straight at you or go for your behind. They can go for your behind, and you don't want to turn your back on them, so you stay close to your tower and also have this ward, so in that way they won't be able to surprise you at all. And now this is the basics. We're not covering very advanced wards, because the list of all possible word places is just huge. I wanted to give you the best ones that there exist, the best ones that cover them up. I mean, you know, I have covered a lot of them in the previous tutorial where I showed the Radiant side, and you can use that tutorial when you're playing aggressively. So if you're playing aggressively, you usually start placing words on the places that the Radiant would normally use in the early game. So again, let's cover them again. One would be up here, and this is a place that would be normally used for Radiant. The second one would be around here. Let me show you. Ah, the tower attacked me. I'm level 1, so I nearly died in fact. But you may want to place a ward here or here, and this is where you are getting more aggressive. So the more aggressive you get, the more words you may want to have at their place. Now if you're trying to own the hard lane, you may consider placing a ward here. It will give you the vision for the rune. No, it won't protect you from anyone trying to surprise you, but if you are trying to surprise a jungling player or just make sure he isn't in range when you're trying to gang a solo lane player, then this word gives you that confidence, and it gives you the comfort to do so. And again, if you want to be a bastard, you can always place a ward up here, which will block these two camps from spawning, and that's a pain in the butt for the opposing team. So in most cases, people just do it. There's no reason why you shouldn't. It doesn't cost that much, and it will cost a lot more gold to them not having these camps spawn rather than you buying the words. And that's pretty much it. I'm quite sure that we will make a more advanced tutorial about where to place words, where we will cover the more advanced places. But the whole idea of this comes down to the fact that I know there's a lot of you out there who, just like me when I was starting, weren't able to tell, okay, so I have bought a word, what should I do with it now? I mean, I have an eye on the stick. That's cool, that's awesome, but where should I stick it? Where should I put it in order for it to be effective? So all sorts of questions just buzz around your heads, and I wanted to give you an answer. I wanted to give you a list of places that are just good, that will be helpful in your games, even if you don't fully understand or appreciate them. I'm sure you will. And in fact, I just wanted to tell you that preparing this tutorial has taught me a lot. I haven't noticed a couple of the places I have learned about, and there are people who have discovered crazy places for putting down your wards. They have discovered how to cut down through a part of forest and then put down a ward for it to be effective in a place that you wouldn't normally expect. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is I hope this was helpful. I hope this will come in handy for you when you're playing on the ladder in Dota 2. I know there's no ladder, but I hope someday there will. So, you know, just go out and practice. Play with your friends. Playing with your friends is awesome. We play with our friends at all times. So, thank you very much for watching. For you guys on the YouTube, that's all. Please comment below this movie. Please let us know what would you like to see a tutorial about, and we will just make that tutorial for you on your special request. That's how awesome we are. And for these of you who are watching this live, we always encourage you to watch our shows online. We will have a short questions and answer sessions, after which we will move on to our next show. So thank you very much for watching again, and I'll be back with you soon.